There's a lot of people that you'll see that are hilarious, but are nowhere. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that you'll see that are everywhere, but aren't funny at all.
Today, we talk about...
I have a friend who works on SNL. Got a couple friends working on SNL. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Is that on your bucket list? Is that like a thing for you?
Shit, I done worked with so many of the goddamn cast members and friends with them personally. I hope so.
You fuck with Che at all?
Huh? I know Che, yeah. Yep, I know Che.
Is it Che?
For years. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I didn't know then.
I know Che. I know Pete. I know Jay Farrow used to be on.
Right.
I know Sam J who writes on it. Chris Red. Fucking. Do you know Richie Tinkin Jr.? No. Yeah, he works in. I think he works on like the crew side of shit over there. What's the other homie's name? Brian Tucker. You know him? He's a writer. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's one of the writers over there. But no, I know a good amount of people. I would love to do it, but again, that's a whole nother thing because stuff like that is never as easy as it might look. Yeah, you know what I mean. And their schedule is
it's definitely not easy by any means. A live fucking show every Saturday night. That's crazy.
Their schedule is grueling because it's one of those things like people see it and be like, oh yeah, I can't. It's like all right, like. Relax, because you say you want it, and the money is probably spectacular. But
that's the other thing I wonder: is it that spectacular? Because, like, I remember, I think I was listening to Andrew Schultz on one of his podcasts. He's like, "Oh, bro, you can make rent working a couple spots at the Cellar, a couple spots here, a couple bucks here, $100. I'm like, wait, really, $100 for a spot? Is that?" Because, I mean, granted, I'm coming from a different world, so to me, that's just like, wow, that's not even, it's not that much. Mm-hmm. But I guess to a comedian coming from literally nothing.
Your world is quite different. You're topping out at what, $600K in a year, right?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Somewhere around there, right? Yeah. So you're topping out $600K in a year. Now.
And not even working full time, Like I'm not getting paid to be here. You know what I mean? Like I'm just having a good time here.
This motherfucker just said the words to me. Oh yeah, I make $600K. Yeah, I mean, but not even working full time. You know what I'm saying? I mean $600K, nigga.
Exposed.
I'll make that in my sleep. Who the fuck y'all think? Yeah. Who y'all think I am? I'm Dr. Souls, nigga. My feet stay comfortable. You understand? $600K a year, something around there. You feel me?
I mean, listen, man, I'm blessed, but for some reason I still have this sickness where I'm at a fucking open mic at 1:15 last night.
But that's the beauty of it, is that none of that matters.
Yeah.
None of that matters.
You're
all
right.
that success, this whole apartment and this villainous ass view. None of that matters in the slightest to what it takes to be great at this job.
100%.
There's people that's coming in from, look, bro, there's people that do comedy that have oil money. I'm not even fucking with you. I'm talking billions, okay? That make your great living look like what my living looks like.
This is peasant shit to billionaires.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got people that got that in their family. You got people that have politicians in their family, right? So there's something to be said about the hardships of this, because it's the great equalizer. You in that same room with people and you got $100,000 worth of sneakers in a closet that have no sneakers anywhere. They're crazy gluing their fucking Nike check onto their fucking G4 shoes.
Yeah.
So there's something to be said about the arts in that regard. Like, because most people be like, well, why the fuck would you want to do comedy? But you in the same room they in.
That's the thing, man. I get asked all the time. They're like, bro, you're doing good. What are you doing here? I'm like, well, I can't enjoy comedy.
Yeah, no,
I can't.
You can enjoy the pursuit, because the pursuit of fucking send you off this roof the same way. No, honestly, it could send you off this roof the same way it could send somebody else into a OD in the back of a bar or a hotel room somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
And died of a heart attack. Why? Because I can't get no laughs. And I thought I'd be better than that.
Yeah, you know what's my favorite is when I run into a comedian that's like, yo, if you got a job and you're trying to do this comedy thing, quit, because I need my spot. I'm like, it doesn't work that way. If you're funny, you're funny. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, shit, man. We're going to have to turn this to a part 5. Because honestly, there's so much that goes into that. There's a lot
of psychology in it.
And it's not even psychology, because that makes too much sense. nothing about this makes sense.
Hit me.
Okay, so when you look at so you have people in my class, right? It's the class of comedians that I came up with. The most successful one out of all of us that I can see tangibly is Pete Davidson, right?
Okay.
And Pete is that 1 in a million case, right? And a lot of people see him, because there's comics that are starting now that see him and it's like, oh, I want to do that. And it's like, wait a minute. In order to do, only he could have done that.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because in order to do something that somebody else did, you have to have their exact situation. If you don't have that exact situation, you ain't gonna replicate it. I had a friend who was he was just starting out. He was a couple years in the city. He was like 21. He was talking about, yeah, I want to be like Pete Davidson. I said, well, that's already done for, because Pete's 21 and you're 21
right.
are very different 21s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? By the time he was 21, he had already went through so much. And I think, Pete started at 16?
Actually, I think the first ever set I saw of his on YouTube is at Broadway Comedy Club.
Yeah, he's kind of like a Broadway bringer.
Oh, that's not a bringer show. That's Comedy Time. That Comedy Time show.
You want to jump on, man?
Yeah.
Want to just join us? Yeah, come on in.
Me, him, Ricky Velez, all filmed that's the same crowd. Because on that same show, you'll see, or at least from that same taping, was when I do my thing about the Somali pirates and all that type of shit.
Okay.
And Pete had the joke about being 17, I think. Yeah, I think it was about being
the
17.
Cougars and shit.
I don't like, it's because 21-year-olds are hot. Or whatever. But it's like people will be like, yeah, I want to do that. And it's like, well, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because he's that 1 in a million case because of everything that goes into his situation, plus his aptitude, plus his execution. You know what I mean? So you have to have all those things. But again, that's that 1 in a million case, right?
That's the thing though, man. Like anytime I saw a comic that was like crushing it, I would look at him and be like, yo, this is just like a dude or a chick that was blessed by God to be able to have this talent. Like I never saw it like, oh, he put in work, you know, they, did hours and hours and hours of practice. To me, it was just like, I can't even think of myself doing this.
Yeah. See, here's the thing.
Other people watch comics and they're like, oh, yo, I want to do that. Like to me, that never came to me.
There's nothing wrong with either school of thought, but what I think more so is that, I don't know if you ever watched Naruto, right? But
watch what?
Naruto.
I know the comic, but I never.
Okay, so it's
this is Ivan, by the way, also a return guest. He just beat you as the first return guest.
I'm the first return guest, and I also am the longest episode by far. But
because he chose to really duke it out. That was a good time.
It's one of those things where it's like there's a lot of stuff that goes into this, correct? So it's not as much just your talent, because a lot of people have aptitude, right? Some people have more natural aptitude. Some people have an aptitude for hosting. Some people have an aptitude for producing shows. But there's a lot more that goes into it than that. So you might be an awesome comic but a horrible networker.
Yeah.
You might be a great networker and a horrible comic. You could be a great networker and a great comedian and be a horrible human being once you step off stage. So there's a lot of things to go into that, because there's a lot of people that you'll see that are hilarious but are nowhere. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that you'll see that are everywhere but aren't funny at all. So there's a lot of factors that go into this. But what'll stand the test of time is, can you stand the test of time that is going to take you to get to your destination?
Right. I was going to say, because you said you got past that comic strip your first time. Meanwhile, I'm talking to Osama, and he's like, yeah, I didn't get past. Meanwhile, he's hilarious. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit will fuck with you sometimes.
But just because you're hilarious, you might be hilarious and go up on a show and bomb. You feel me?
Yeah.
You might. I remember I didn't get seen to do. I did Montreal right after my first audition, and a lot of people don't get to do that. But I hadn't been seen by the JFL folks for 8 years. There was 8 years that I was doing comedy that they just didn't look at me.
Yeah.
So when I got the opportunity to audition, it's like you know how if you and your girl are having an argument and y'all have makeup sex, but you're hate fucking. You know what I'm saying? You're hate fucking, but it's the best sex that the two of you have had in a long time.
You had a great audition.
That's literally, no, you're laughing. That's literally what that set was, because I was so nervous. You know what I'm saying, in the first place, and then I was so like angry because it's that like being underestimated shit where it's like, I ain't never been seen by these motherfuckers, and it's been 8 years, and you like to think that you've been good.
Yeah.
I've been good for at least.
Because you got nothing to lose, right?
You need that though. You need to be able to respect whatever audition you're having. Because there's been sets where like I've gone in and I've been like, oh, this is gonna be an easy room, and I eat it.
Oh yeah,
And
God.
then when I
God
think it's
bless
gonna be
you.
hard, it's like
God
I
bless
work
you.
real hard and then I do well.
I've never thought a room would be particularly easy, but what I'm saying more so in regards to this was that my mindset was in so many different places because it's like I was mad that I'd never been seen by them before, right? I was nervous because of the fucking weight of the opportunity, and then it was like I was confident that I knew that I knew me, right, and I knew what I can do. But man, when I got up there, it's like caring, and then you just stop caring and you just go. So I was so nervous leading up. So when Joe List brought me up, whatever that thing is that you turn on, I was like, fuck it, now. That turned on. And Shawn Michaels, who is a WWE wrestler, a former WWE wrestler, was a big match player. Can you play in your big matches once you start? Because there's some people that can study great, but they don't test well. Right?
Yeah.
Studying being like working it out at the open mic or working it out at the bar shows or working it out wherever. And then your test is when you go to that audition or you go to that show, you go to that paid spot or wherever the fuck. Do you test well? There's so much that goes into this.
Big time players make big plays.
Yeah, but
playoffs.
But also sometimes the big time players, when even the ones that make big plays, show up to the big match and fuck up. Some of them Kevin Durant that shit. You know what I mean? Where it's like you went out one too many times and you really hurt your leg. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be the person that's in charge of when that happens and when it doesn't. And sometimes it's not always in your hands because the crowd, who's the real juggernaut, might not be fucking with it.
Yeah.
And after the hurt, are you willing to go back and make it better?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes people will find that the success takes so long to come that they don't want to stick it out. But what does success mean to you? You know what I'm saying? That's not for anybody to answer as they sit here and listen to this, but figure out what it means to you, because everybody can't be Kevin Hart. And sometimes instead of trying to be that, try to figure out who you are and what success would mean to you at the very least. But go for the very most, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you got to maximize your potential. Everyone's not meant to be Kevin Hart, Kevin Durant, Kevin Garnett. I don't know.
And hopefully not Kevin Spacey.